Burke, you're gone. Get back here.
I'm here. Sorry.
It's Friday.
I'm a little sweaty. I was trying to get to the fan.
Uh-oh. Is it hot there?
I just got back from a jog.
Oh, okay. Okay. It does that.
My
Well,
audio's kind of low. Is
my mic quiet?
mic's a little quiet? Chad, is this mic quiet? Or
Is my mic quiet?
quiet?
I don't know, man. Let's check and make sure I'm on the right mic. That's always a thing. Settings. Yeah, it's on the right mic. Test. I'll talk.
Yeah, that sounds a lot better. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just talk into the mic more. So welcome to Burke Learns Blazor, and John learns all kinds of stuff.
Blazor.
I'm learning some Blazor. I'm learning some functions. I'm learning some things. Let me start by sharing my screen, but I think you're going to be doing most of the screen sharing today.
I think so. Yeah, that's the plan.
All right, so let's start with this. First of all, we are working on. Let's share that. Boom. We're working on updating the URL list, which is a cool site that allows for sharing a list of links. I use this thing like crazy. I use this for ASP.NET community stand-ups, Blazor community stand-ups. We do this .NET monthly roundup thing. So I use it for tons of stuff, several times a week. So here's an example of some of my lists. I mean, this is kind of cool, like historically going back. So on the ASP.NET community stand-up, we share these. So you and Cecil built this in 2019, 2018?
Yes, 2018. Yeah.
Okay. And this is built using Azure Storage, and it is Vue front end, and it is what's that thing? Azure Front Door. It's like a bunch of stuff all hooked together, kind of to create what Azure Static Web Apps sort of gives you out of the box a little bit. And then Cosmos DB on the back end. We are doing an update of this because the code is in a weird quantum state. It uses Twitter auth, which is very flaky.
It's constantly going down, yeah.
Yep. So we're updating this to use the Blazor static web app. So that's the kind of packaged offering with Blazor, and it is trucking along. I have one. Whoops. Let me see. I switched my wrong screen. This is our project that we're using to track. So we've actually, feel like every week I'm like, oh man, we're taking forever, but we've done quite a bit of stuff. So here's like,
we've got a lot done.
This is all this stuff we've done. And then this is what we're on today, I believe, is the edit page UI, like finish that up. And then we got the remainder. We've got some front end stuff. So I want to show one thing here, which is before I hand it over to you, is I'm actually really trying these tests, and they're being kind of frustrating. And I'm partly hoping somebody watching is like a testing guru and it's like, oh, you should totally do this. So the thing I'm running into, let me decide where to put us. I'll just drop us over on the side over here, I guess. Yeah, the thing I'm running into, I refactored things around a bit. Oh gosh, I think we are better in the lower right. Okay, I refactored things a bit. We have now, I moved in the API, I created a service, and I'll probably create another one. The service is Cosmos DB, or Cosmos Data Service. The reason I did that was to like put all our Cosmos stuff in one place. It actually did clean up our code now, because the functions don't have a bunch of Cosmos stuff in them. They basically just say, like, for instance, if I do get links basically just says, use the data service and get a link bundle. So that did clean some things up there. Same with like delete links. It's basically like a checks for vanity URL, gets ID, and then deletes it. So that's cool. The thing I ran into is I have like, here's an example of a test that is working. So I'm using XUnit, which allows you to do like multiple tests on a thing with inline data. And then I say create a test first create one using test one and then create one using not found. I forget what I'm doing here. So I actually have like a test thing and it goes and looks them up. But the thing that I run into that's frustrating with these, like if I go to like save links is, okay, I'm in the wrong place. Get links into, okay. So here's get link tests, like for instance. So here I'm doing, there's test one and not found. No, I wanted to do save link test. Here's an example. I have an in-memory link bundle. I try and create one and stuff. The weird thing is it's very hard because there's a HTTP request data and HTTP response data. And it's very hard to like set what those are, like what you can fake and actually change around. So it's very like the function expects to take in a big, my guess, unless somebody watching, including people watching later, if they want to leave a comment, my guess is that I'm going to maybe create some like service that does a little bit more. The function is basically like here's the inputs, call into this service, do the thing, create the link, do the thing. And the logic that is here goes into more of like a service thing. And then the function just kind of kicks that off. Or maybe I give up. And like you were saying beforehand, Burke, maybe we just move to like more front-end testing. So I'm not huge on testing. I just like some little guardrails that are like, oops, you broke the thing because you like deleted some code you shouldn't have. Or
we should definitely have some testing, right? And I think Cecil had some tests in there before.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I know he did. But we don't have any tests on the front end. But I'm just thinking, like, if we can do end-to-end tests with Playwright, do we really need unit tests? I mean, isn't the end-to-end going to catch when the API is down or misbehaving, et cetera, et cetera?
Sort of. The one thing is an end-to-end test, does that go against the database?
Mm-hmm. Well,
so see, that's the tricky thing. And then does it need to be authenticated and all that sort of stuff? So then you get into the weird where maybe testing the API is easier if I can figure it out. So
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I see the problem there.
Yeah, so I'm fixing to give up for today. I do want to say that it's October, which means we could actually throw some things out there as Hacktoberfest if people want to contribute.
What do you mean?
So the October has that Hacktoberfest where you can put issues
yeah.
on your repo.
That's right, yeah.
And it's a great way where if people, I think they're still doing it. I haven't seen as much excitement about this year because people kind of went a little crazy on it in previous years.
It's the DigitalOcean thing, right?
DigitalOcean, I think GitHub's participated and some other people. And the idea is like you say like, hey, these 5 issues are help wanted. And then if people contribute to them, then they get some points. David has a great question. Did Copilot help you with testing? Yes, and yet I didn't finish it. Copilot was really useful in a lot of things, but the place I find Copilot struggles a bit is when you're using something where there are different APIs or the API has changed over time. So here I'm using Azure Functions isolated with .NET 7, and Azure Functions API has changed over the years. Cosmos DB API has changed over the years and all this stuff. So once I kind of got it in the ballpark and said, finish this test or fix this up, it helped with a ton of stuff, including like, here, let me throw this back up real quick. Including the thing that I thought was neat was in my save link test, I just said, create, like stuff like this, create a link bundle, and it just did it. I also, in my mock data service, it basically wrote this for me. So this thing was super cool. I said, like, basically this mock data service runs instead of Cosmos. And so then I can say, like, delete a link bundle. So I've got this in-memory list, and I just call it and say, delete a link, or get a link by vanity URL. So that's neat. I have one called test 1. I have another called test 2. And so if I say, go get link bundle with vanity URL test 3, it's going to fail or you know what I mean? It's not found.
Right.
So this was all super useful. The other stuff was just, I feel like, honestly, if Stack Overflow is going to struggle, then Copilot's going to struggle. And there's a bunch of sad people on Stack Overflow saying this is really hard to test isolated functions. And so Copilot agrees. So,
yeah, I don't know anything about it. I've been very forthright with the fact that I don't do, I've never done testing in my life. I know what it is. I've just never really written any. And so it's one of those places where, yes, Copilot is not a lot of help to you if you don't know what you're doing, at least for me, right? It's like it'll generate the test, but then I try to run the test and it's like test failed. Okay. And I don't know why. You can ask it why it failed, and it's just like it can't write your code, man. And this is where like the brand of Copilot is weird to me. I've talked about this before because it's like, it's a Copilot. You still have to fly the plane is the analogy. Ooh, but also the Copilot's whole job is to fly the plane if the pilot cannot. Like the analogy breaks down real quick.
Yep.
Anyway.
Well, just to answer this question. So this is a live, let me drop back.
We're building.
So Burke and I are rebuilding a website.
Startup.
We're converting it. Yeah, we basically are. We're converting it from Vue to Blazor and modern static web apps, and we don't really know what we're doing, and we're trying and failing, and that's what programming is. And welcome to the party. So,
but we're mostly succeeding. Mostly, I'm like 60-40.
60-40. Okay, that's fair. So, and I think what we're doing. So we have been doing. Let me drop this down as if it were hot. We talked about this testing thing, but I'm giving up on it for the week. I'm hoping somebody in the comments will help out, or some Hacktoberfest, or I'll have an epiphany over the weekend, which I might. And then we are now going to do this thing, which is work on the edit page UI, which is about the time where I turn over to you.
Yeah, you can show my screen.
You got to share it.
Oh.
I mean, I can only do so much.
John. Y'all, it ain't easy being me. All right.
You got a new iPhone though.
I did, but only because I hesitate to use this word, but it's about me, so I'm gonna do it. I'm an idiot. I'm just an idiot, man. And the reason why I feel so silly is because it's exactly the same as the phone that I had. I had the 12 Pro. It's the same phone. There's like a dynamic island thing, and you can like slam your phone against someone else's and it'll transfer your contact info. But aside from those things that I would not use very often, it's the same phone. And it has this like action button on the side, which people are freaking out about. It is a button that you can map. I don't understand. Chad, help me understand.
It is
why
funny.
Is this thing good?
So, I mean, so do you get it because it's like you're on the AppleCare thing, or is it or just
it's because I can upgrade it for nothing if I send my other one back.
Okay.
And then you're in another 3 years. You're opting for another 3 years with AT&T, essentially.
Okay,
but I've been with them for 20 years. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. So
yeah.
Hey, we can't get a good phone. I always assume something will happen to it. Oh, like you drop it or something? Yeah.
I swear. So I've got a Pixel 7. It's fine. Whatever. I feel like phones are phones at this point. But I have dropped this thing a few times. I do have a case, but nothing on the front. I've dropped it hard on tile. Like I try to be really careful, but I have dropped it. I'm like, this is the time. No breaks. My kid with the iPhone, brand new out of the box. You look at it, the phone's cracked. Man, it's just, what is it? They break so easy.
It's like, here we go, the Android people talking about how great the Android phones are.
It's going to be trouble. Okay, your phone or your screen is almost ready to share, but all I see is the URL, or I see StreamYard.
Oh, sorry, I had the stage. I got stream beats going.
Oh yeah.
Too loud?
No.
You hear it?
Thank you. Oh, now it's really loud.
Sorry.
Getting down.
Bring it down.
Okay.
Take it up. Then bring it down. Okay.
Yeah. I'm happy for any recommendations on tests. Yeah, test small in scope and single responsibility. I think that makes sense. And I think what I picked out of this is moving from testing at a whole function level, which is too chunky, and doing some like smaller services. And the functions will call into the services, and my tests will call into services, and I'll test the services. So
There's some like small differences between the live site and the site we have right now that are going to drive me crazy. Like, watch the text. So the text on the new site is like got padding on it. See, like for the group.
We can
and
fix
also look at the color of this screen versus the color of this screen.
Is it a different? It's a different Bulma version.
It might be an updated version, but I think I must have overrode the greens because I had my friend Silm do the design, and then I tweaked the Bulma colors to match the design that he gave me.
I've run into some funny tiny things. I'm updating the .NET tutorials on Microsoft Learn for ASP.NET, and one of them uses Bootstrap, and it's an accessibility module, and they fixed a small, tiny little accessibility thing that I was actually relying on it not working for my module. And now I don't. So anyways, it's this tiny thing that changed between Bootstrap 5.1.0 and 5.1.3.
CSS stuff is just,
it's fun.
I had one this morning where I was like, I had for Leslie and I's talk, we built like this clone of ChatGPT. And I don't mean like we didn't build the model. We just built the interface in Blazor with a backend that uses Azure OpenAI. And what's really interesting about this is that ChatGPT has some very interesting like UI edge cases that you don't realize until you try to rebuild it. And so anyway, I had this thing where it was like extending beyond the div, and it took me like 3 hours to figure out what it was.
Yeah.
Copilot was of no help because it can't look across your whole code base running compiled and be like, okay, look, after looking at all your CSS, but I have high hopes for it being able to do that in the future.
Yep.
Okay. So what are we doing today? We are adding this component because we can do this.
We can do that, which I'm actually pretty happy with.
We are happy about that. And I think this works too. It does. But why did it give me 2 links? Hold on. I refresh, what happens?
I forget. Janisku's saying there's input type equals URL. We intentionally decided against that for some reason. I think we wanted to allow people to type in without HTTP or HTTPS.
It's because we want. Yeah, that's exactly right, John. It's because the input type URL is really restrictive, and you can't. Because it's once you give a URL, and I'm sorry, but Google.com is not a valid URL. Has no protocol. Which is this is
okay. What's happening there?
How human beings use the internet. So that's what we're doing. All right. So this component up top.
Okay. Is that a component or is it just a small input form?
That's a component.
Okay.
This is its own component. Now, because we've split the edit page out, right? Before I was reusing the same page for everything. This had to be a component that was either visible or invisible, depending on. That's not the case anymore. So we could just make this part of.
Just part of the edit form, right?
We could.
I kind of lean towards you making something a component if you're going to use it in more than one place.
Yeah, this is not used in more than one place. So by that logic, let's see what we can do here.
Okay.
So it would be called, I think it's the list details. List is published, blah, 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 blah.
Jacob has a good point here. Shouldn't it be list title and not link title? I think that's fair.
Yes, you are correct. We will be fixing that in short order.
All right.
All right. So time for a little copy paste coding.
This is where Copilot shines, I think. Like it blew my mind when you're like convert this, or you converted some like Bulma.
Converted CSS SAS to CSS is what we did.
SAS to CSS. I was like, what? That was
nuts. All right. So the only problem here with this is that currently, like, it's going to add a ton of markup to this page. And there's some argument for
That's fair.
not having a ton of markup.
I'm with you. That's cool. That does make sense.
So let's put it in a component for now, just because I feel like it's going to get ugly here.
Sure.
And we'll call it list details.
That's nice too, because you can do isolated razor in there too.
Yeah,
or, I mean CSS.
Also, did you see, like, if you have nothing in a file now, when you make a new file, it's like tells you chat here. It's cool. All right.
Like that.
So what do we have here? We have.
Okay, so there's that template tag. Do you need that?
So that we don't need. Yeah. We're going to take this out. And we're going to get rid of. We are going to comment out all of this because there's actually quite a bit of work to do here, man.
I know.
Or in advance. So here's all the logic. It's gone. And then we'll just take this stuff and move it over.
You can put that in
a CSS file, yeah.
I'm loving those isolated CSS.
Oh man, they're so nice. Yeah. Isolated CSS is the greatest thing in the world. And this is Sass, but it doesn't need to be converted because it's really just CSS. So.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. So let's see what this looks like. Did it run? Was there a root edit? It did. Okay. Let's start the backend. I don't know that we'll be using it, but we'll start it. Oh, and if we see that error today, Tim was asking, you know the error we get that's like pops up over and over and over? It's like out of range, out of range, out of range.
Yeah.
Someone posted that on Twitter. They're like, is anybody else seeing this? And I was like, I am. And Tim's like, hey, thanks for not filing an issue. Can you please send me your blogs?
Oh, fair.
Yeah, I got in trouble. Sorry, Tim.
Oh, this is a cool thing too. Can you use isolated JS interrupt files? And you can also, which is neat. Although I'm not sure, I don't know with Blazor. You can with Razor Pages and MVC. I'd be a little scared to do that with Blazor. I think you actually need to explicitly do that.
So I think we have to figure out where this is actually used, list details. And unfortunately, I think it's in an unfortunate spot, but let me just look here. List details. That's the file, but where are all the uses? Can I not look at that? And you know what? Why am I doing this the hard way? Actually, I think I messed that up. I think I gotta put. Will that work? Yeah, well, okay.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't know that you can put vscode.dev in front of your GitHub and it'll open your repo in VS Code on the web. You can't run it, but you can view the code, and it's a lot better for doing things like this. So we want to look for implementations of list details.
Whoa, is that a card?
I'm just going to search for it. Right. So it's in the edit page, is where we're actually using this component. And it is, okay. Not bad. Nice. So in our edit page, basically this whole thing is wrapped in a div. I don't think you actually have to do this in Razor, but in Vue, you have to return a single element, right? You can't return two top-level elements. I think in Razor, you actually can. Is that correct? Or am I?
Well, sorry, I missed that. Somebody's pinging me about that. Okay, what is it? You can't return...
In Vue, you have to return a single top-level element. So we'd have to wrap this whole thing in a div.
Yeah, no, you don't. That's not a problem.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think so. So what's it mad about? Found markup element with unexpected name. Speaking of using directed. I am using. Well, maybe I did a root edit.
It's always it.
I need a notification when there's a root edit feature request. It's still mad. Shouldn't be mad.
Okay, markup element. So is that markup element? It's called link details.
And
It's
all of a sudden, state container does not contain a definition. You know what? Before we do any of this, we need to create a branch.
Yeah.
It's just every Friday, man. No.
Here's an interesting question. What companies hire for Blazor dev? Honestly, I'd be interested to hear in the chat. It is a smaller, it is kind of a more niche thing. I think one thing that I see is Blazor is more part of .NET development. So if you're doing .NET dev across the shop, you're doing some front end, some back end, some, a lot of .NET stuff. Blazor is a good fit there. So it's not like you're only a Blazor dev, you're a .NET dev. I know there's a decent amount of work going on at Microsoft. I know we have some case studies from customers that we're going to be sharing, like at .NET Conf in November. So.
All right, what's wrong with this thing? It's giving me errors. Take container, delete link from bundle. That absolutely exists. It's like
it seems like there's like a missing like import or namespace or something that it's not finding.
Like if I take this out, does this get better? Content in the files never over. Oh.
You may want to just stop your .NET Watch and restart it.
Restart it. Well, let's take this out, and then I'm gonna bop this. Close this. Don't save. Let's open it back up. All right.
So there's an interesting thing. Do you recommend? So there is a thing with the global imports. I'm sure you can do this too with Vue or other JavaScript things. There's some global ones that it'll do kind of by default. I kind of tend to like to put them explicitly in the file if they're needed, so I can see what I'm using. Howdy, Sean. Howdy, Timmy.
Okay, so there's our component.
All right, looks good. Ship it.
Hold on. There's people at my house. Who's this?
Oh, I have something I need to show off, by the way.
Show it off.
While you're looking, I'm going back to my screen because I have to show this off. I don't know if you can see this.
All right. Go back to your screen, yeah.
Burke, do you see what's happening here? Look at the edge of that terminal.
Oh, the rainbow. I saw this too. You saw this on Twitter, didn't you?
It's a rainbow. I did, and then it actually took me some time to figure it out. It was not actually easy because it's
rainbow frame. I think it's called rainbow frame.
It's a rainbow frame, but you actually have to create a theme. You have to edit the JSON manually. It's a whole thing, but it was worth it. So I create this theme. I created one called Rainbow Dark, and I also created one Rainbow Light. And then you have to go in experimental.rainbow frame. And then, so it took me a little time because it's not smoothly documented.
Wait, it's something that's built into the product?
It's built, which seems a little crazy to me. But yeah.
I mean, it does, except for...
there's no plugin model for it.
Did you get the release notes from this team for the terminal?
Yes.
They're hilarious.
They're completely wacky, yes.
They put so much creativity in, and early on they were like, they put something in the release notes, and then they'd put a bullet underneath that, and they'd be like, it would be like known bug, and they would be like, if you send us an issue reporting this bug, you will be removed from the distribution.
It's so funny because the command prompt in Windows was always so stodgy, and the terminal is just like, woo!
Yeah, it's like the best terminal. In fact, I made a short recently talking about how, like, coming from a Mac to the Windows, it's like, how is this terminal so good, and why can't I have this? Yes, I know there are other terminals I can install on a Mac.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back to your screen, but we need you to switch back to, there you are, add the stage. There we go.
Okay, so we got a couple things going on here. I assume that this is what I show when you're in an edit mode. Yes, because this component actually shows up. So here's the deal. There's sort of two states for this thing. There is before you create the list, right? And then there is after the list is created. After you create the list. Let me log in real quick. What's going to make me log in as VS Code? Don't want to do that.
No.
1 second. Figure out how to do this.
I'm all about the browser profiles.
Yeah, take me down for a second so I can see what's going on
here. Okay, we'll go back to my rainbow. Yeah, so I will try and share this. I was surprised I didn't actually see in the release notes. This is what I had to do. So themes, when you create a theme in VS or in Terminal, you need a dark and a light, so it responds to the OS light and dark theme. And then here there's the themes, and I actually only wrote a little bit of this, and when I saved it, it like added more. But then what's kind of neat is here, if I go into this and I go settings, and now if I go to appearance and then I go to rainbow light, because that was the other one I created. Now it's going to flash. It's harder to see. Oh, well, it's still kept doing the rainbow thing. Okay, you ready to?
Back to me.
Ready. Okay, back to you. Cool.
So the difference is that when you create a new list, you can edit. Essentially, until you publish the list, you can edit the title. But after you publish, this isn't even the title. This should say vanity URL. Okay,
yes,
that's what that is. And then, but then when you go back to one, you can't because
it's published.
Right. At that point, you would just break the internet, and so we don't allow that. So those are the two states you can be in. Now,
this is back when we cared about breaking the internet.
Right.
Now
exactly.
they break it every 10 minutes.
We have one edit page though, and that's fine. So go back to here. So the way that I'm handling this is if the list is editable, which means it has not been published, then I show this box here. If it has been published, then I just show the text in this box here.
Oh, got it. So that's why there's the two states.
There's a visibility toggle. Yes. So I think what we do is we say code. Give me the code.
So you want a property on that component that is a published or not?
Yeah, we want to pass down like a. Actually, we can just access it right off the state, I believe, because we got a state container.
Oh yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Delete link, new link added. We have a state container, yeah. So
we do have a state container.
We can do.
Hey, Victor, welcome.
What we can do here is. So we need to show or hide. Golly, this markup is so in the vanity URL.
Okay, I'm curious, how much of this can you like ask Copilot convert this from Vue to Blazor?
To Razor syntax?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's going to work. I'm just curious.
Okay, so it gave us some code. List is published as false. If list is published, then this input.
I think that's
technically right.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want this stuff up here. But what we want is, so first of all, we want to bring in this, what do we inject the state container?
Yeah.
Or do we use it? Be injected. What we actually want is we just want to say if state container dot link bundle dot vanity URL. Okay, if string, this is the input,
Is not null or empty.
is null or empty. We'll account for this one first, and then we'll do the other. That way we don't have to do the not. We don't have to negate anything.
Okay. Yep.
We're gonna do this.
Speaking of things that broke on the internet recently, I don't know about this, Burke. I'm not on Twitter's as much anymore, but they now hide the title of shared links. They just show the image. You seen that?
What do you mean?
So normally when you would share, say, the URL list or a YouTube video or something, it'll show the screenshot and below it'll show the H1 or whatever the title from the web page, right? So so below the image, right? So if I share like a news article, it'll show the thumbnail, but below it'll show the title of the news article. But now they don't show that. I'm not sure why. There's different arguments about it. I think that they do it so that you click through because they're trying to drive click-throughs and engagement. Anyways, web broken.
All right, hold on. I think I did this backward. I think you're right. If string is null or empty, we actually want this condition. Otherwise, we want the other condition. And I don't believe it matters what order they're in. Like we could put one and the else.
Cool. Okay. The OCD in me is requiring me to say that you have to click the hide thing at the bottom in StreamYard. Otherwise, that's all I will see.
Leave it up. The formatting's getting a lot better. Kind of. All right, so we don't need this anymore. The class is invalid. Okay, so we'll handle this in a second. I think we're about to go back to we have to do validation again. Oh, is it else like this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So in this case, then we want to bind the value to. Is it bind value? Is this right for Blazor?
No, it's so it's an input. So you would close the tag. You would put it or value equals.
Value equals.
Oh gosh, now I'm.
I think it would be, isn't it like model?
So use model if you're doing an input text, which is
what we're doing.
Okay, so is it an input form then? Do you have an input form?
No, we're not using an input form. Let's go back to new link and see how we did this.
Yeah,
we did use an edit form.
Yeah, so if you're using an edit form, then you do input text. If you're not using an edit form, you just do an input type equals text.
Oh, and it's bind dash value. It is bind value.
Yeah, you were right. I was wrong.
It's all right. So we do want an edit form here. So let's do that. And then let's move all of this wonderful stuff in here, all of our validation errors, description, publish button. Oh my gosh.
You're very right to make this a separate component.
So many closing tags.
Yeah.
Oh, one sec. I know how to do this though. We need everything. Actually, we can put all this stuff. We could put everything here, right? And then, no, it doesn't know anymore. Let's try this. Z.
This is a happy little bop. This is a song. If they played this at a grocery store, I would buy a lot of stuff.
Really?
Probably. I would buy a little more stuff. I might treat myself to some ice cream.
So I can't do expand. I know. All right, so let's see. The best way to do this is probably to just collapse this and do bit form. Now what's it mad about?
So what is the error? Do you have a lambda? It looks like it's on the line above.
No, I think it's just messed up, man. I think like if we do.
Oh, right. The close and open.
Yeah, I think it just got messed up. Okay, so now here, instead of an input, we want an input text, right?
All right. Yep.
Then we're going to bind it to state container.
Is it at data bind? Oh, I always forget. It's not, because that's a.
Is it at? It's just data dash bind.
Yeah, look, it wants to autocomplete for you.
Bind value.
Bind value.
I don't trust it. Container dot bundle dot vanity URL class at input set vanity URL event dot target. I mean, kind of.
You do need to put in the placeholder, which
we had here.
Yeah.
The title. It's like a tooltip. And the placeholder, did it have a placeholder? It didn't. We just put a title in, I guess, which is kind of a weird thing to do. And it's still mad about all this. What's going on? You cannot convert lambda session. It doesn't even make sense.
Delegate to what? Do the quick fix.
This is markup. It doesn't make any sense. Is it because there's no...
Oh, that you need a semicolon at the end?
No, you don't. I don't know these things.
Oh.
I'm telling you, man, it's messed up. It's messed up.
Is there a blank line before inject? No, that's the top line. Pretty sure it's mad about edit form needing a model. That is true. You need a model on edit form.
Why doesn't it just say that?
That's a good point. Did you file an issue?
State container dot link bundle. Right?
What
else does it want?
So also, is bind value, is the V in value capital or lowercase?
It's capital.
Okay. That's one that feels weird to me because it's mixing C#isms. Okay.
Can you not put just regular markup inside of an edit form?
I don't think you... I don't know. I think it needs to be like a fragment or something.
You can. Sure. You can. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. Is it
the same error? Yeah. Because it's mad about something here. So we get the model.
It says list published does not exist. Where is list published?
106.177. You know what? Let's just get rid of all this. I don't trust that this is safe.
Okay, that's fair. You can still pull it back from whence it came if you need.
Still mad.
Okay, let's actually read this. So there, the model type is not good. I think it's funny. It offered. What is the model type? Are you binding directly to the model? Do you do explain using Copilot?
It's not. It won't do it.
Here's somebody saying line 23.
Is it the else condition that's making it angry? Yeah. Who was that? Who was that? Who said that?
90.
And how are you so good at life?
Yeah, that's
Teach us your ways.
What?
All
why
right.
was that? Why was the else bad?
I don't know. Let's go here and find out.
Good.
Back.
Yeah, I will agree. It's the error is not clear. It was just a like.
So the input, because I had model on here, maybe that was the problem.
Oh, could be. Yeah.
Okay, so if string is null or empty, vanity URL, then it should show this input text, but it's not because it's throwing a lot of errors, which I assume is because there's all kinds of stuff in here it just doesn't recognize. Like let's just let's fix this. Okay, this is an else statement. Else condition is we have input text.
Oh, right.
This is the same for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Wait, is it input? Oh, if it's not saved, yeah.
Class is large, has tool tab, option, name. No Copilot. I don't want.
Why do we need a whole separate display case for if it's empty?
Because it's because if the vanity URL is no, we need to know if it's published or not.
Yes.
Which we don't have a field for that.
How did it work before?
I think before
there wasn't is published, right?
When I get back, I'd make a call and say, give me all the lists for this user. And it would respond. And then I would, parse those into an array of objects. And each object had an is published equals true, right? Because I know if I ask for your lists.
Yeah. So I feel like
in a draft state.
I feel like the state container should have the link bundle should have a property of is published.
Right. You are correct. That was a good catch, John.
All right. Sometimes I watch.
But
or not.
It's gonna get sent to the database.
Yeah.
Which I guess isn't bad.
So David's got an idea here, which I think makes some sense. The ID won't be null if it's published. Although here we do.
Oh, he's right.
But here it does good, new good to string. Although we don't have to.
We could just say null, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Just set it to empty string.
What happens if
What happens if we do that though? Doesn't that throw an error in Cosmos DB?
Yeah, but then we just make sure when we save it, it requires setting a good. Jacob's saying we could set it to great comments from the chat today, folks.
What do they think we should do?
GUID.empty and check for that.
Oh, set it to GUID.empty?
Yeah. So instead of new good.
And a method or
a string. Yeah, to string. I do wonder though, should there be an is published? Well, that's weird to have it on the model because then every single thing in the database is going to be is published, is published, is published.
I mean, we had talked about this, Cecil and I did, where do you want to allow people to have things that are published and unpublished? And the idea is that once you publish something, you can't unpublish it because you're breaking URLs and we don't want you to break URLs. Now you can you can change the contents of the URL. Okay, but you can't remove the URL from the internet.
You can delete the list. That's all you can do.
You can delete the list, in which case we tell people this list has been deleted.
So Chuck's had an idea here is put it on the model, but not save it. But that's a little, then you can have like an attribute that says don't save, whatever. I kind of do like starting with the idea of if there's an ID, it means it's been saved. Although that's
that
a
makes
little
the
like,
most sense, except for we're creating the ID as soon as we create the object.
so we could, if there's an error saving it, that's not helping.
All right, so we're basically punting this down the road and being like, the API is going to have to handle that somehow.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this case, then the condition is it if is it still if string is null or empty, right?
Yeah.
And then it's link bundle dot ID.
Still iffy on this, but it's a good experiment to try.
Wait, no, I need a paren. No.
You need another print. Yeah, there.
Right there. There we go. And it's still mad about this. I understand. So here, we're just going to show an input text. If it's empty, then they can edit it. If it is not empty, then they cannot. And so we want to show disabled.
I think for those kinds, you can just say disabled. You don't have to set it.
Yes, I believe you can just say disabled just like this.
Yeah, no equals.
What else do we need in a class? Input is large. Like, I want some of this, but not all of it. ID, it doesn't need an ID. And I don't want any of the rest of this stuff. No.
So you don't need that input tag below, right?
No, we do not. We do that with fire.
Yeah, so that was what I was trying to say. That disabled equals to disabled, you can just write the word disabled.
Oh, sorry, you're right. You don't actually need this.
Yeah.
So what's going on over here?
It's
a little
really
better.
Happy.
Reload. What's it mad about?
It's mad because of rude edits, I believe.
No? See what doesn't it like? I mean, there's so much that's probably off in this page.
Oh my
here.
goodness.
Fail to execute set attribute on element at input is not a valid attribute name, which is probably happening.
Yeah,
it's here. It's in the input text. So
severity URL.
this is on. Oh, you know why we do this? Basically, so what's happening here is that whenever the user types, watch, I'll show you.
Oh, I know about this. It shakes. This is shake animation.
It checks, right? So like, it's checking to see whether or not this link is actually available, and if it's not, then it tells you that.
We need an API. We don't have an API that says get vanity or check vanity URL or something yet.
Well, we have it's just the same API that gets the link bundle. We just call the same API, and if it returns a link bundle, then we're like, it's already taken.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's let me check on that though. We return. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so that's why we have that there. So now we needs to be on input, right? Or on.
Is it on set?
On input. On input.
Oh, right.
And then this we need a.
Because you want it for every key, every.
Right, and we want to basically check some method that's like, I don't know, something like this, right? The other thing we do is like we test it for.
Oh yeah.
Can we do that? We don't do that here though, do we? Don't do it until you press enter, and then we're like, nah.
Right. I've honestly, that's kind of felt a little weird to me how it works in the current one, where it's like as you type every key, or
yes, but so I would be okay with. So the experience that I'm going for here is not where you put this in, you press publish, and it's like already taken. You're like, okay,
yeah,
it's like already taken. You do it again, and you get into this like hell of like certainly chat. You've done this where you've gone to like a website and try to sign up and pick a username, and it's like 50 iterations through the form.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to save people from that.
Yeah.
So make it easy. And so if we're checking, if we're making an API call, well, we debounce it, right? So I don't actually make the API call until you stop typing.
That's fair.
But if we're gonna check there, we might as well check the validation at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So how do you check validation? Is it just regex?
It's just a regex. That's right. So all right. So let's see how our errors are now. A wall is what they are. Input is not a valid. Didn't I switch? Didn't I change that, or is there another one? Oh, fucker's gone. Like it's not.
Which line is it I'm happy with?
What's that mad about? Input is not a valid attribute name. Input ain't in here. This thing.
Is it that commented out thing?
No. Is it?
I'm trying to see here. Is it?
Oh, we haven't wired up this button yet. Interesting. Okay, yeah, we just had to restart it. It's better now. Okay, so we don't have that error anymore. Now so let's work on.
Yeah. Question here on validation annotations. And the issue we have with validation annotations is we want to control the validation experience. So it's like on key press and stuff like that. Validation annotations happen when you like submit the form or when you like complete your edit. So.
But why are we getting this condition? We should be getting this condition, and instead we're getting this condition.
Is it the link bundle ID? Is the link bundle ID being set to? Yeah, we got to check for. Yeah, so David is saying the words here. Check for GUID.empty. No, well, it's a string though. It's not a GUID. So it's GUID.empty to string. I don't know what GUID.empty to string is. Or set it to null.
Whose value is all zeros. So the string representation of that is just going to be like a bunch of zeros.
Yeah, that's weird. I've never worked with that.
So why wouldn't we just say empty string here? Wouldn't that be easier?
Yeah, you could do that, or you could just leave it off and not initialize it. Don't even set it to anything.
Don't
do it. That whole dot equal, get rid of equals. Yeah. It's just going to be the default then.
We're still getting the wrong condition.
Well, so
we've hit a root edit? No.
where are we at?
I just need to write out the value of.
Yeah.
Should I live share? Would that be helpful?
Maybe.
I feel like I should live share. I'll make it read only, and I'll put it in the chat, and literally anybody can join.
Oh, that's cool.
Give me the link. All right, chat. Here we go. Don't make me regret this. I don't know how I could. I'm trying to think right now. This is a terrible idea. All right, here we go, y'all. I don't think you even need to have VS Code installed for this to work. I think you can just click it and it'll open it in the web. You don't have it installed. Let's see. Well, people start showing up. Send it to anyone you trust. It's read only, right? .NET read only. Read only.
All right. See what happens.
Can you type in here, John?
It won't. So it's weird because can you share? You shared it as a comment, which is hard for me to copy. Let me see if I can copy this.
Okay.
Nope. See, in StreamYard, it's like
Chris B. Anonymous.
All right, Chris.
Chris B. is here. Anonymous and read only, right?
Copy.
Sure, I'm just making sure they're read only. Yeah.
That is very exciting.
Mom's here. Victor's here. What's up, Victor?
Party.
I feel like we should give Victor read write.
There you go.
He's vetted?
Can you do that?
I can.
Wow, that's cool.
Is that okay to do? Can you vouch for Victor?
Sure.
Victor's done so much good already.
Richard doesn't know.
Victor. All right. Okay, so we are not. What I want to know here is, I want to know what the value of the link bundle ID is when this thing loads. So I guess I could just slap like a, when component loads. Right. It's like a console. I mean, this is the most naive. You accept other people. Gangdahar, I hope I said that right. What's up? Welcome to the live share. Right line. I know that this is like this is like it's like amateur level debugging. On the left. See ya.
We'll allow it.
What am I doing? It's the state container.
I'm still not sure about this ID based check thing. It's a little.
You don't like us using this as the.
I'm not sure.
John doesn't approve. What does Victor think?
I'm trying to open the live share.
Oh, now it's working.
Okay. Live share workspace happening. Oh, okay. Maybe it needed the live share.
Vivek. How do you say that, Vivek? We have a Vivek running for president. How do you say it? It's Vivek, right?
We do.
Is it Vivek or Vivek?
So yeah, I don't think it's the same one. I don't know. Look, I joined.
Right. Did you? John Galloway has joined. Read only. I'll make you read right. one time.
All right, let's go.
So now this is working, which is weird. Like I add this and all of a sudden it works. Baloney. Okay, so now it's working, which is fine. We'll take it, right? Okay, so now we need to check for the validation case here. Okay, so first of all, our validation message, let me see, how did we do this? Is it new link or add link? New link. And let me put this side by side here. So we have in our edit form, we have an input text and we have a validation message that's underneath if things go sideways. So that's basically this thing here. So inside of our error message div, we're going to put our validation message. And text has danger is font weight medium, no margin here. Or model, not model.url,
Vanity.
Why do we need this for?
I don't know. Question from Hamza. We do all different kinds of live streams, but this one is a ongoing project. We've been working on this for months now. So this is a public GitHub repo we're working on. Still hoping for a pull request. Maybe this month is the month.
And then the validation error is, we don't actually have one yet. Wait a minute, no. The validation error gets set on the validation message, right? I don't remember how we did this.
Yes.
Validation message. Parsing error message. That doesn't look like a valid URL.
Is that a property? Parsing error message?
Apparently. Oh my gosh, I'm so confused.
Did ChatGPT make that up, or
hallucinated a property? So the validation message, we actually need to set this on the fly.
Yeah, and this is a good point. We're not validating a URL. We're validating a vanity link.
Right, but we actually need this to be.
Well, the message at least shouldn't say valid URL.
I need to bind this to a property. It can't just be a static. So like we need this, watch this. We need this vanity. What we need is a property that's like, vanity validation error message. Can I just do that? Right? And then what we want here is we want to bind this to that property. So let's see if this works. Parse. What's that thing called? Parsing error message. I bind the parsing error message to the vanity validation error message string. Really? That easy? Where to go? Here. So just okay. That's the business. All right. So down here, what doesn't it like here? Non-nullable field. That just like it's okay to do.
Okay. Let me see. Sorry, I was distracted looking at that. I'm still confused. That parsing error message is a real thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a picture, I'll tell you.
Equal quote. So what I was getting, we had someone asking in the chat about learning Blazor, and there are some good community things. We also have a beginner series for Blazor. So I'll share the link for that in the chat. That is from Jeff Fritz. I would recommend, if you want to learn Blazor, like we're learning along the way, there's probably more efficient if you want to actually watch like a class or something. Jeff's is our like, Microsoft official, whatever, .NET team Blazor for Beginners series.
Which I probably should have watched.
Right. I did watch parts. I need to rewatch some. It really helped.
We got like 15 minutes left.
I know.
What was I going to do here? Oh, I'm going to the component. I'm looking at the list details because I need the regex that it uses for validation.
Right. We got to lean on that Copilot.
There we go. Only accepts alphanumeric characters and dashes. So in this case, check to make sure state container dot bundle dot vanity URL only contains letters and numbers. Right now I just I'll replace the regex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, if it's right, I see. You have a specific one.
Yeah, it's like just give me the code and then So what did it do here? Check vanity URL. Yeah, vanity validation message. It doesn't like it. I assume because it put it inside of this.
Yes, that's weird.
Whoops. It's an exciting time, folks. Copilot. It's learning new tricks.
Yeah, so this is a good question. How can it know so there's different ways. The check vanity URL could pass the parameter in, but you're checking directly against the state container, which is bound, I think.
Is that okay to do?
I don't know.
It doesn't like this.
So you're quoted. It's that backslash. So at the before the quote, do an @ sign. I think there.
Okay. So now, if it doesn't match this, then a URL can only contain letters and numbers. Otherwise, it's nothing. Okay.
Type some crazy stuff.
Value cannot be null. Parameter input. Value cannot be null. Parameter. Where?
What number? What's the?
Regex is match. Okay, so there's something wrong here.
I think you may want to bind to the actual value as they type it. You don't want vanity URL. Are you?
But I am binding to vanity URL here, right?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's do this. Watch this. This is how I debug.
Also, your regular expression, I think this is right. Your regular expression is JavaScript syntax, and I think you need to remove the slash thing. That's
Oh, there's a different regex syntax?
There's slightly different syntax, yeah. JavaScript like has this special syntax where it escapes the regular expression string with the slash at the beginning and end. You don't need that in C# land.
Oh, here.
Yep. Yep.
Well, first of all, I'm just trying to get this to run so I can see.
Yeah.
I want to see what the value is. I want to make sure that vanity URL is getting updated.
Yeah.
Because my assumption is it's not.
I don't think it's doing.
Oh, I know why. I know why. Because we have to change it. It updates on blur, not on type. So we have to say it's update on, or what is it?
You did this on the link thing on the homepage.
Did I?
On input? The new link?
No, I feel like we didn't. I feel like we just went to we didn't. We took that off because we don't want to check on every
keystroke.
Keystroke.
So yeah, there's an on input event.
There is, but there's a way to tell it that you want it to update.
There's on input and on key press.
Yeah, so let's watch this. How do I make a Blazor component update on key press?
On input.
The model value won't be updated until we blur the field.
On key up. See the last sentence there. It says
it's like this. Value changed. Right? No.
What it said was on key up.
Right, that's the event.
Yeah, isn't that what you want?
Oh, there we go. There we go. There it is. There it is. There it is.
Ooh.
Stop it.
For Tim.text.
All right.
We're being good citizens and we're sharing an issue.
So, John, the issue here is that yes, this is getting fired, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But this binding isn't actually going to happen until we leave the field. So literally it will be empty every time we press the key until we leave the field.
Okay, so a different thing we could do is we could pass the value in the on input method. We could actually
what? The text box?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly how we do that. Well, let's ask Magic.
Magic AI.
Magic Computer, yeah.
Let's see. How do I pass the value of this input text to the check vanity method? I'm modifying the on input event, find value class, ref vanity URL. So it's using a ref and args.
Yeah, and then string value. All right. Event args.value.string. I've done this before.
This is it, right?
I have a good feeling about it.
Right.
Yeah, no kidding. This is when Copilot's going to shine, when it can fill out our OKRs.
Oh, it ain't so happy though. No because
you need a string. And then change your console.write line from writing out.
Yeah, to make sure it gets updated. You are correct. Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Woo!
Okay, it's happening. Like, I love that. That was pretty neat. Okay, now type some invalid.
Yeah, we can make designs. Look at this. Yeah.
Type a invalid character. Oh well, we're not doing
at. Oh, we haven't done the rest.
We gotta throw the regular expression. Okay, that's
implemented. Now, see, if I was a developer, John, and I was being paid to write code, I would do this for at least 10 minutes and then come back and. All right. This is chat. Root edit. Changes to apply. Like hell. Explosions. Element at is not a valid attribute name. Element at. What's happening?
Oh.
What did I do? It doesn't not like this? No, we gotta have that. Didn't do anything.
Well, that's possible null reference. No, that's fine.
It's just working. This is another case of like, just do this.
So the console write line was working, but the regular expression is not, maybe?
That is correct.
Okay, so let's ask Copilot to write a regular expression. Or the escape may be wrong.
Yeah. Okay. So value cannot be null. Parameter input. Same error. Oh.
Oh, yeah. There it is. You may need to stop and start it.
Not any errors. But it doesn't know that it's invalid. We need to tell it that it's invalid. How do we do that here? We don't actually do it. It takes care of it itself.
We need to set the... No, we don't need to re-render the pay unless... So it needs to set the...
Should we just put it on the model like we did here?
So you can, but then you don't get that model validation is meant more for like the actual submitting or the updating. It's not going to be working for a key press. So I think what you want to do is you want to set a property that changes the state, right?
Well, I just want to tell the form.
You can't rely on that validation message here because you're going your own way with your regular expression on key press validation stuff. So you need to set a class. You need to, you know what I mean? You need a span or a div.
Yeah, I need to just show it. So we don't even need to validate. In which case, why do we even need an edit form?
That's kind of what I was saying earlier. I don't think you do. But if you want to change it now, you got to, I think you need the edit form to do the input text. So you're going to have to change a few things.
Edit context. There it is. What's it gonna do? Check vanity, handle submit. Edit context. Mark
is unvalid.
That can't be right. That can't be right.
Maybe.
There's no way. Unvalidated.
See above, it's creating this edit context.
Well, it's so the edit context, and then it's probably attaching it to the edit form, I assume, somewhere. Where is the edit context actually used, though? Maybe you don't. Maybe just do this. Really? There's no way.
Oh, well, it's the line below where it said set edit context and it has the thing. See, look,
initialized. Here.
I'm still confused here. Yeah. I don't see how edit context is associated with edit form.
I don't think it is. That's what I'm saying. But let's just see if edit context dot.
I kind of feel like just show a div. Like,
mark as unmodified. Yeah, there's no mark as unvalidated. Dude, this is the greatest hallucination in the history of Copilot. Yeah. It's not even a word. All right. So do we want to do this, or do we want to just like call it and come back here next week? And
yeah, maybe we need to wrap on this for next week. I feel like we may want to roll back, not use an edit form, just use an input, because we're kind of not getting the value out of the edit form because we're doing our own kind of validation stuff, you know?
Let me look into it more, though, because I feel the edit form will work on key press.
On the description or something?
Yeah, like it's just a matter of telling it.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, all right. Reminder too for anyone watching, including people that joined late, if you want to comment on the testing stuff, I think what I'm planning to do is kind of refactor it more towards some services and test the services and not test the function level. But I'm not sure.
All right. I pushed this branch.
Cool. Okay.
All right. Well, that's it for this Friday. Some Fridays are better than other Fridays.
I think we did have one great success, which is when you were typing and the console right line was writing out every letter. That was beautiful.
That was amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, cool. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for the chat. We had some great input. We're definitely learning some stuff over here. Hope you are too. Having fun. Have a great weekend. All right.